Tonight on DC News Now.
Every expert has so far said that this is bad for national security and will make us less safe.
The Supreme Court upholding a ban on transgender people serving in the military. The impact it could have.
One school in Maryland feeling the heat. Parents frustrated after a school in Capitol Heights hasn't had air conditioning in weeks.
Hey everyone, pretty comfortable temperatures tonight and more sunshine on the table for your midweek forecast in a moment.
Do you have your real ID yet? The deadline is just hours away. What happens if you still don't have one the next time you go to the airport?
You're stretching your dollar, where you can find the cheapest prices on some of your most important groceries.
You're watching the station covering all of the DMV. This is DC News Now.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight for DC News Now at 9 o'clock. I'm Chris Flanagan.
And I'm Tosin Fakile. Susan Tran has the night off. A major decision today by the Supreme Court. That's where we begin tonight. The highest court in the land ruling the Trump administration can now enforce its transgender military ban. It comes after months of litigation, and that fight isn't over yet. DC News Now's Daniel Hamburg joins us live from the Supreme Court.
Hey, Daniel, I know you spoke with transgender service members today. Certainly not the news they were hoping for.
No, Chris and Tosin, transgender service members who are active duty and those who are veterans tell me this news is devastating. The Trump administration has said having transgender troops is not good for military readiness. In late February, the Department of Defense said transgender service members were to be removed within 60 days, in line with President Trump's executive order. Multiple court cases delayed that until Tuesday.
When the Supreme Court ruled, I and thousands of other transgender service members were doing our duty. I was helping define the future of our military's capability in space, and thousands of others were doing exactly what this government has asked of them.
Space Force Colonel Bree Fram spoke with us in her personal capacity, and her views don't necessarily reflect those of the Department of Defense or U.S. government.
We feel a bit unwanted despite years of service and dedication to this nation, where we have succeeded based on our merits.
Lindsay Church, a transgender Navy veteran, says it's causing a lot of distress for trans service members.
People don't know where they're going to live, whether or not they're going to have a job, whether or not they're going to have health care.
Church says lower court rulings have shown the ban isn't about merit.
If you can't find cases or reasons why transgender service members should be kicked out, and you have to go into their medical records, it goes to prove a point. The transgender service members are not a detraction or a distraction from our military's readiness.
Fram says the policy will cause real harm while court cases play out.
I have served my nation in uniform for over 22 years. I do not plan for that service to end, whether in uniform or not.
The Department of Defense said today that officials are determining the next steps. Secretary Pete Hegseth said on X today, no more trans at DOD. We're live at the Supreme Court. Daniel Hamburg, DC News Now.
Virginia's governor and attorney general are investigating Loudoun County Public Schools.
Yeah, they're accusing the school district of failing to protect student rights. According to Governor Glenn Youngkin's office, 3 boys say another student who identifies as a gender different from their biological sex used the boys' locker room. LCPS denies the accusation and calls the investigation disheartening. This is a developing situation. Stay with us for the latest on this development. You can always head to our website, dcnewsnow.com.
Also developing now in Virginia, a Spotsylvania County man is charged with the murder of a high school student. Police say initially a teen was trying to break into the man's home, but now court documents raise questions about what really happened. DC News Now's Max Marcilla shares the latest.
It was right here on Mackenzie Lane in Spotsylvania County this past Saturday about 3 in the morning when sheriff's deputies got a call for an attempted home burglary. They responded, and when they got here, they found 3 people, 2 minors, one of whom was shot, and 18-year-old Michael Bosworth Jr., who was shot and died at the hospital. Now, 3 days after the incident, the homeowner, 27-year-old Tyler Butler, arrested and charged with second-degree murder. According to reporting from the Fredericksburg Freelance Star, the 2 surviving minors told cops they were doing ding-dong ditch pranks supposed to be posted on TikTok and were running away looking for a place to hide when the shooting happened. Bosworth Jr. was just days away from graduating from Massaponax High School, the shooting coming on the same day as the school's prom. The homeowner, Butler, is being held without bond. Online court records don't yet show who his attorney is and when his next day in court is. Reporting in Spotsylvania County, Max Marcilla, DC News Now.
Meanwhile, all new tonight, a funnel cloud spotted in Pennsylvania. This was in near Bangor in the eastern part of that state. The National Weather Service now confirming this was indeed a tornado. Meanwhile, thunderstorms moving through the state as well. This includes some damaging hail and wind. You can just hear that right there. This is in Limerick, just northwest of Philadelphia. So that area getting pounded tonight with storms.
Yeah, Janessa, we saw some storms yesterday, but today we were in the clear. It was great to see that.
Yeah, because they're all to our north. That video is actually what's happening right now across Philadelphia. These are local storm reports, LSRs, we call them. They're small little dots, but it's showing you what damage has happened out towards the metro area of Philadelphia. So lots of hail reports this afternoon into the early evening and lots of wind situation. And so we got lucky where the storm system stayed to our north, and we're now left with some scattered showers impacting the Frederick area into Hagerstown. Here's a live look out towards DC. Really, we're nice and quiet, and we'll stay that way for the rest of tonight, and then going into your Wednesday, no big problem. 67 sitting under mostly cloudy conditions, but here's that storm system. The spin is out towards the Great Lakes. That's where the area of low pressure is, and that was what's producing the severe conditions. At this point, most of this moisture is very light to scattered, and it will push out by midnight tonight, impacting the corridor of I-81 right now. 67 DC, lower 60s in most areas and middle 50s. And tonight it is a nice breathable air across the region with a good amount of sunshine for tomorrow. It's your pick day for your midweek before more storms back in the forecast. More on that coming up.
All right, Janessa, we'll see you then. All new tonight, some students are sweating it out inside one Prince George's County school, but it's not over their grades. Their AC is busted. DC News Now's Tim Reed reports when the kids could finally cool off.
For the past 3 weeks, the principal says the air conditioning system has not been working here at William Hall Academy in Capitol Heights, Maryland. Parents and students are frustrated, but school administrators say the AC is being fixed.
And as a mother who was concerned about her child being in this building with the heat as it was, because my daughter also has asthma, so I was worried about that too because it was very hot in there.
Phyllis Wright and many other parents are frustrated and concerned about their kids who attend William Hall Academy. Wright's daughter is in the 8th grade. In recent weeks, the building has been hot because the air conditioning system has not been working.
Is somebody passing out getting sick? That was my main concern because of the heat, because we have children with different needs in here as well. So I wasn't just concerned about my child, I was concerned about every baby and the staff as well.
School officials say workers began installing a new AC system back in January, but the job was never finished. The project was delayed because necessary equipment did not arrive on time. The school system's chief operating officer says the work now is moving forward.
So one of our capital program projects for improvement at William Hall Academy was to put in a new air conditioning system that includes 2 new chillers, full piping replacement, as well as new controls.
Come on, Dr. Come on here. Give me a hug. Thank you so much.
Knowing her daughter's school will soon have AC again is making this mother feel a lot better.
I felt a little at ease because I knew something was being done.
School leaders tell us they are hoping to have the air conditioning system restored by Thursday. In Capitol Heights, Maryland, Tim Reed, DC News Now.
Tomorrow is the deadline to get your real ID. And if you're wondering, do I really need a real ID by tomorrow? Well, if you don't have one, you may have a more complicated time boarding flights and getting into some federal buildings. And if you don't have a domestic flight scheduled soon, you don't have to rush to get a real ID to fly. But if you do have a flight, you may have to complete an identity verification process. But passports and tribal identification will be accepted in place of a real ID. And as a reminder, you do not need a real ID to drive, vote, buy alcohol, enter a post office or Social Security office. And you will not need a real ID to receive federal benefits, hospital care, or enter a courthouse.
All new tonight in Virginia, Arlington County police arrested a man who they say pulled out a machete while trying to sneak into an apartment building. It happened on Washington Boulevard in Virginia Square Sunday afternoon. Police say Bat-Bold Saikan Bayar followed the woman inside. Now, she alerted a worker who then, when he wouldn't leave, he allegedly pulled out that machete and then took off. Police found him nearby, then arrested him. The Arlington man faces multiple charges and is being held without bond tonight.
House Speaker Mike Johnson says he will call a vote on the D.C. Local Funds Act as soon as possible. That is according to a report by Politico. The legislation restores D.C.'s current budget, which was cut in March by $1 billion. That's when Congress voted on a federal spending plan that reverted the district back to 2024 spending levels. The Senate already passed the legislation, but the House has failed to consider it, forcing D.C. to come up with a backup summer budget to address the gap.
We don't have a timeline, unfortunately, from the speaker. Soon as possible is our timeline. So I have had an opportunity to speak with the speaker, and I'm hopeful that there will be a resolution soon.
Mayor Bowser says her team must move forward with its supplemental budget. The goal is to have that to council by tomorrow. Happening right now, the Washington Caps taking on the Carolina Hurricanes in round 2 of the playoffs.
Yeah, pretty exciting. Tonight is the first game of the best of 7 series right now at Capital One Arena. The Caps currently up 1-0 with the third period beginning just a few minutes ago. Now, during the regular season, keep in mind, these two teams played 4 times, each team winning twice. So it's a pretty evenly matched series, but let's go Caps.
Let's go Caps.